Good morning, everybody. Thank you for all attending the Financial Wellness Program for 2022. I am Lori Calcei, your County Recorder, and here today to talk about the County Recorder's Office, what our procedures are, what we do, and a couple programs that we do offer. A lot of people, when I first took office, did not even know what they would ask me, what does the County Recorder do? Our main job is to record, preserve, and maintain the property records of Portage County. And it's kind of an important position and job and an office, because if we don't do that, then nobody can buy, sell, move property, refinance. So the office takes it very seriously, what our job is. I'm going to go over a few of the details of, again, what we do there. That way you know, and then I'll go over some of the programs. We are to record, preserve, and make accessible all of the property and land records for Portage County. And a lot of people that use our office are title searchers, lawyers, attorneys. They come in to look at and review the land records. If you've never stopped into our office, it's kind of a fun place, maybe a quiet place, but an interesting place to stop in. Our record room, our documents go back to 1795. We have a lot of the very old records. Sometimes if you go back to look at those records, it's kind of interesting because the writing is so hard to read. There's a lot of important information in those documents. So if you ever get a chance, sometimes stop in, look at the old books. I'm very happy to say they're in great shape. There a lot of wealth of information in there. One thing our office cannot do is give you any legal advice, so I do apologize for that. If you come in, we're going to try to direct you in the right direction at our office on what to do and where you need to go, but as far as legal advice, that is one thing our office cannot do. Another important thing that we do there, as I told you, we record and make accessible and preserve forever all of the land records. The one thing we need to do is make sure that forever those land records are accessible. And the way we go about doing that is, if you bring a document into our office, we index it by name so you can find it, or we can find it in the future for you. And then we put all of those documents on film. And everything is put on film. We check and double check that film to make sure it's correct. And then we do place those documents in a place called Iron Mountain, which is in Pennsylvania. That way everything is preserved forever, and if we ever need to bring those documents back from Iron Mountain, if something would happen to Portage County's building, even a flood, tornado, we could always bring those records back. So that is a very important thing, that we do make sure all the documents are preserved forever, and we could pull those documents back if we ever needed to. A couple of different programs that we do at the County Recorder's Office is the Good Deeds program. This is one that you might have heard about, that we go around in different places in the county and present the Good Deeds program to people. My main thing with this program is to make sure that people really take the time to look at their deed and make sure it's set up correctly. If your deed is not set up correctly, then in the future for your family, if something should happen to you, there's going to be a lot of things that might need to go on that you could stop all that headache and aggravation they might have. And a lot of people buy a property a long time ago and they never ever look at their deed again. They don't even really know what it says. So I would recommend, and always do recommend to everybody, to find your deed, look at it, make sure it says what you think it says. Also, look at all your documents. I recommend that everybody go in and search their name at the county website. Make sure if you've had a mortgage, that mortgage is there, no doubt. Make sure if you've had a mortgage released, you've paid it off. Make sure the release is there. I've had different situations where people have called me where they know they have paid off their mortgage, but their release has never been filed in the county from the bank. So it only takes a little bit of time to pull your name up. Now, right now, our documents online are indexed back to 1979. The actual documents that you can view online go back to 1998. We are working on taking them all the way back. We're in the process of a program right now of scanning all of the old documents into our indexes. So there'll be more documents available online. So if you can look at your name online, see this stuff. If by chance it's not online, feel free to come into the office. We'll show you how to look in the books to look at your old documents. But very, very important to look at your deed. Make sure it says what you think it says. Make sure it's set up correctly. Sometimes people's lives change. You might get divorced. You might get remarried. A spouse might have passed away. And if you don't take the time to correct those documents, it will cause headaches for people in the future. The Good Deeds program, again, is to make it that you look at your document, you see that it's set up correctly. There are different ways to have deeds set up. And if you ever want to attend one of our Good Deeds programs, we will go into more detail, but there's joint survivor, there's transfer on death deeds, there's life estate deeds, and having all of that set up correctly is just your house is one of your biggest assets, and to have that asset set up for the future is really, really important. So check that out. I think our next Good Deeds program is going to be in Ravenna Township, maybe in January. So check that out if you'd like to have more of a presentation on that. The another program we do also offer is a property fraud alert. I have a lot of people ask me whether property fraud does really happen. And I will say it's not like it's always, but it does happen. I know of a bunch of different situations where property fraud has gone on in Portage County. And this is something that people will ask me sometimes too, well, can you guys not stop the property fraud? As long as the document is brought into us correctly and is notarized and has a prepared by and everything on that document is correct that we need, we cannot stop that document from going through. Even if we think something's a little suspicious, we cannot do that. So this program here that we offer, once your document is recorded and it's free and you sign up for it, you will be notified that something has come across our desk with your name on it. And when that happens, it could be you. You could be having a new mortgage, you could be refinancing, you could have bought a new property. So that's just telling you that yes, hey, you have did a new document, something has happened. If it's not you, it gives you the chance to be on top of it and take care of the problem before you try to either go sell your house or you realize somebody has taken out a second mortgage. I mean, I do know we do have a family relative where the son was able to get a second mortgage out on his mom's house, and I'm not quite sure how, but when she went to sell the house, there was a second mortgage out there that she was not aware of. And what a devastating thing for her to find out at that time in her life. She's older, she's selling, she's going to move, that's going to be her money for retirement. And she, being a relative, had to pay it. She paid off that debt with her profit so that she could sell her house. Again, it's not like it is happening every day, but when it does happen, it is an issue and a problem. And if you can jump on it quicker, the better it is. And I sometimes think people are really not trying to get your property, live at your house. They're trying to get that second mortgage is what they're trying to do, or a mortgage on that property because it looks like they own it. And again, no blame. I do not know how it happens. I do not know where it starts. All I can say is from the recorder's office, we're trusting, and the reason we can't stop it, we're trusting that notary was legit, and that notary knew that you were who you were when you signed the document. And people were good. They could have a false ID, they could have anything, and it's not, I'm not blaming the notaries either, but it kind of starts there. Once that document is notarized and that document goes through tax map and goes through auditor if it's a deed and comes to us, we think all the ducks are in a row, everything has been done and everybody has done their job up to that point, and we take the document. So the property fraud alert is just a heads up that, hey, something has happened. Again, could be you. Don't panic. If it is you, you know, hey, I refinanced, I got a new mortgage, I bought a new house. Again, going back to it, it's free. You can come into our office and sign up. You can go right onto our website. There's a thing that says property fraud alert. You put your first name, your last name in, and how you want to be notified. If you're married, your spouse's first and last name. Another thing I say sometimes, if you have an older member of your family, you can also monitor theirs. You could monitor your parents. Somebody could be trying to take advantage of an older resident. Power of attorneys have a lot of power, and you would want to make sure that nobody is trying to do something with the power of attorney or trying to do something with an older citizen's property. So you can monitor your parents, anybody that you think that you want to make sure everything is okay. Another program we do offer there too is the Veterans ID program. This is a program that a veteran can bring in their DD-214, record it with us for safekeeping, and then we do give them an identification card that is only used for discounts. It's not like a medical card for the VA, but it'll give you discounts at Lowe's. Instead of having to prove you're a veteran, if you go in somewhere with your DD-214, you have this nice little card in your pocket that you can use. And the reason we offered the card is it's very important sometimes to have that DD-214 recorded somewhere. People do lose that. It may get lost in a fire, in a flood. It gets just completely misplaced. And instead of having to go back to the government to get your DD-214, we have an official copy of it. We will certify it saying this is an actual true copy of your DD-214, and it makes things much easier. I will tell you, all of our documents in the county are public records. Anybody can see any document about you. This one document they cannot see. We do not let any public see the soldiers' discharges at all. They're locked in an office. They are not viewable online. The only way anybody can ever view one of these is we have a form that needs filled out, and it's the veteran. I always hate to say it's the veteran's office and funeral homes directors can come in and get those, and that is if you're going to have a military funeral or something, they can help with that. But this is a document that we do not let the public see. So it is safe for safekeeping there. The other thing I do not have a brochure on that we do also offer is the Century Farm program. This is a program that if you have a farm in Portage County that's been in a family for over 100 years, we'll help you. Well, I will help you search back into the older records to prove to the state of Ohio this farm has gone from family to family to family for over 100 years. And if we can prove that to the state of Ohio, then they will honor your family with a Century Farm certificate. We do have maybe 10 or something in Portage County that have gone through the process. I did a couple years ago help the Durthix Farm research theirs back, and they actually went back 250 years. So there are some pretty old farms in the county, and it's just an honor to say this farm has been in a family for over 100 years, and it's kind of fun sometimes to go back and look at the details in the deeds and see who owned it and where it went. So that is another program that is offered. There's a few other things I thought I would just go over of some things we have done in the recorder's office since I took office. I started off by saying what we do. I also have a brochure here that tells you that we, record anything to do with land records. Not marriages, not death certificates, anything with land records, which does include your deeds, your mortgages, land contracts, plats, condominium, paperwork, partnerships, financial statements, bill of sales, liens. We do file there. The liens, if by chance you haven't paid your IRS taxes, by chance you haven't paid your property taxes to the treasurer, we do have liens that are filed there. And if you're not aware, when you're trying to do something, a title searcher, a bank, they come in and they search our records to make sure that that property has a clean title. Because if your property doesn't have a clean title and you take it on, you take on those liens. So if you ever are even going to sell your property to somebody, it's always good to have a title search done, because if I'm going to sell you my property and I have a lien on it and I just quick claim to you, you're going to take that on. So a title searcher or an attorney or a bank comes in and uses our records to make sure that that is a clean title. I'm sure you've heard that term before. So that is the biggest responsibility of our office, is to make sure we have all of those documents accessible, that you can find them. The other thing, like I said, we have is the plats there. If you live in a township, we have all of the plats for all of the township subdivisions. If you ever need to look at anything for where you live or a subdivision for some reason, we have all the original plats in our office. Now, when I did take office, we brought all those plats back from the engineer's office, and we have scanned every single plat and indexed every single plat. So all of those plats, if you ever need to look at them, are on our website, either on our index, or we have a special link that goes right to the plats, and a lot of information, important information on those plats. Again, I'll maybe go through the process real quick just so you know. If you ever are going to use our office, and you can have all your ducks in a row before you come, if you get a document prepared by yourself, which as a property owner you do have the right to prepare your own document, we highly recommend you use an attorney to make sure that document is correct and you have somebody to go back on if there's an issue or a problem. But if you're going to transfer a property, you do need to start with the tax map office. The tax map office checks your legal. Now, I will tell you, sometimes on these older properties, she may require a new survey, so I don't want people to be upset if they go down there to think it's all going to be easy. If it's an older property, she might require a new survey. So sometimes it's really good to make sure that's correct. So the process would be go tax map, she approves your legal, you go to the auditor's office, the auditor's office transfers the property, and once it comes to our office, then it is recorded, and it is a done deal. That is a legal document that cannot ever be changed. So if you ever need to go through the process, that is kind of what is done when you transfer a deed. Again, any questions, I am Lori Calcei, the County Recorder. Any questions you have on anything with the Recorder's Office, feel free to stop in, ask me, ask my staff. We are there to help. We will answer any questions we can as much as possible. Again, we can't give legal advice, but we would love to lead you in the right direction to have your questions answered. So if you have any questions, again, feel free to stop in, and so glad to have you all here today and to give you the information about the County Recorder's Office. Thank you.